first made my YouTube channel, this was over a year ago, which is crazy to think about. But when I first made my YouTube channel, I still had both my feet, and I had no idea what I was doing on YouTube. Not like I really know much more now, but I at least know how lighting works. I decided to make a new video explaining what happened to my foot and why I needed it amputated. I'm also going to include what I've done since then because I realized I've done a lot since then. So this video is going to be in 3 separate parts. I'm going to give you the short version for people who just want to know real quick what happened, why do you have a YouTube channel, why do you have no leg. I'm going to give the long version for people who have way too much time in quarantine or just scrolling through YouTube right now. I feel you. And then I'm going to explain all the stuff I've done since my amputation and things that I plan to do in the future. Without further ado, let's get started. So, short story. I went into boot camp, felt some pain in my foot, was told that it was nothing. Fast forward about 9 months, surprise, it's a tumor. Went through 14 months of them trying to save it. Surgeries, injections, procedures, left me with cellulitis and a staph infection, which turned into osteomyelitis, ton of nerve damage, and I fought with my doctors for about another 9 months, convincing them why I want my leg amputated. And then as of April 2nd, they went, chop, the end. So here's the long version. I went into boot camp in May of 2017, was immediately written off when I told them my foot hurt because, let's be honest, most people going through boot camp think everything's wrong all the time. So I don't blame my drill instructors by any means. I made it through combat training by eating Advil like it was candy, which is probably why I have liver problems now. And by the time I made it to the schoolhouse, I was falling out of formation runs, which are very slow runs, what you see people running in like Full Metal Jacket. I was falling out of those, and so they're like, Annika, you're limping, go to medical. I'm like, fine, whatever. Went to medical, and the native medical doctors who wanted to do as little as possible said, you have a stress fracture, here's a walking boot, good luck. After that, they checked up on me every couple weeks. Wasn't healing. Finally, a doctor who decided to do their job was like, let's do an MRI because this isn't normal. Took several weeks to get the MRI. On February 1st, 2018, they're like, so you never had a stress fracture, but surprise, it's a tumor. So immediately went under procedures called sclerotherapy to try to shrink the tumor. Was extremely painful, minimum of 8 weeks recovery after each one. Wasn't shrinking the tumor, was causing nerve damage. So finally my doctor, who said she did not want to operate on my foot at all because the foot's so intricate and has so many tendons and bones and nerves, said she didn't want to operate. It's like, yeah, let's operate. On June 12th, 2018, had my first foot surgery, and they could only remove half of it. Went home. 7 weeks later, about a week before I was supposed to see her for a second surgery to remove the rest of it, end up in the ER. Was turned away from the ER 3 separate times because my white blood count was normal and I wasn't running a fever. What my foot looked like and why I kept going to the ER. Finally, a doctor's like, maybe we should admit her because her foot doesn't look normal. Turns out I had a staph infection and cellulitis, which is an infection of the soft tissue in the skin. So had to go through another surgery, and this was in July of 2018, to remove the staph infection, and had my first PICC line, which is a catheter that goes in through your arm all the way to your heart because you're getting injected several times a day for several days. It was supposed to be 7 weeks. And after about 2 weeks, my doc's like, you've healed. Your white blood count's normal. And you're not running a fever. Sorry, I'm still irked that all of this happened. A week later, show back up the ER, where I was turned away another 3 times. Turns out I had osteomyelitis that time, which means the cellulitis never healed all the way and instead infected my bones. That time, I ended up with a PICC line for the full 42 days, which means every single day, weekends, work days, every single day at 7 a.m. I went to the hospital, which was 12 miles away, which isn't that far, but at 7 in the morning and getting injected every single day through your PICC line, which, I mean, it doesn't hurt, but it's not the most comfortable if the line moves at all. Went through all my treatment for that. Went through about 9 more months of them saying, yeah, we don't want to touch your foot anymore. You've had too many infections. So here is a lot of drugs. From ketamine to fentanyl to oxycodone to Vicodin to pretty much any drug that anybody's ever used for painkillers. They're like, here you go. So after that, I begged them to cut off my foot. Went through a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety, and finally walked in March of 2019, like had my medical notes that I had highlighted and medical journals saying people with chronic pain in their feet who get amputations and how much better off they are. Handed my doctor an entire folder. I said, this is why I need my leg amputated. And he finally said yes. So 2 weeks later, on April 2nd, 2019, I got my leg chopped off. That's the end of the long story. Since then, life's actually been pretty great. I've lost about 35 pounds. I've competed in several sports events. I've traveled to several different states, participate in other activities, from hanger clinics in PowerFest, which was amazing, to the Air Force's Wounded Warrior Week camp. I've done so many sports events. I've done so many new sports that I've never even tried before amputation. Because of the connections I made going to these events, I met somebody who has a casting agent that works specifically with people with disabilities and limb difference. So I am attached to an agency in Los Angeles now. I also have moved to Colorado to train for the Paralympics and para-snowboarding. Again, because of the opportunities I've had and the people that I've met. So yes, it was really unfortunate that all this stuff had to happen, but I've gained so much from it. And I'm so grateful that, as unfortunate as it is, that it happened, because I've been through so many trials and tribulations and I've made it out. And there were so many days when I still had my foot that I didn't think I could live another day. In all reality, I thought about taking my own life a lot. But with all that's happened, I'm so grateful that I did, and I'm so grateful that I'm here to tell my story and to explain to you all what's happened, and hopefully show somebody who may be going through something similar or just really in a bad place mentally that there's a reason that you're getting put through all this stuff, and there's a reason that you should still be alive for it, because you never know what connections you're going to make. You never know what opportunities you're going to have. 2 years ago, I would have never thought that I would be training for the Paralympics. Whether I get it or not, who knows? But just the fact that I have the opportunity. 2 years ago, I was crying in my bed thinking my life was over. It's been a crazy journey. It's been hard, don't get me wrong. It's been so hard. But I'm also so grateful that I've had these opportunities and that I've gone through all this, because it just shows how strong I am and how strong I can be. That's my story, guys. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments below. But other than that, thanks again for watching. You guys mean so much to me, and it's been a crazy journey. Hope you guys are all well and safe wherever you are, and trying to stay as sane as possible through all this social distancing. Have a good one, guys.